biggest economic concern for Ukraine would be if that was restricted as a trade route. We already know there's the Black Sea grain deal, which is allowing grain to be exported through the Black Sea, an alternative route, but that route is slower and more difficult because of inspections and security concerns. And so the land route has been more important for moving grains that go into the EU and globally. And if at the moment it appears that the import ban will apply, at least in Poland, to that transit traffic, and I think that will be a priority for the EU to resolve. So I think if that isn't resolved, then that will probably be problematic for Ukrainian farmers and potentially also in terms of the revenue the government gets from the farming industry in Ukraine. If the Black Sea deal isn't renewed and Ukraine can't export, then I expect to see food commodity prices to increase substantially again. I mean, I'd like to think that, especially in terms of the transit part of this situation going through Europe, that the EU would be able to strike a deal. I think the EU has got some room for negotiation, and I mean, both because it wants to see the food moving through to decrease inflation, and because it undermines the solidarity of the EU as a trading bloc, and because of the security implications for Ukraine. Then I would imagine we'll see quite quick action to at least mobilise the transit. I think this absolutely is, an attempt to put political pressure on the Commission to provide more support. I think the 50 million euros or so it's provided so far across the whole EU is probably relatively small in historic terms. I think the context of, again, if you look at this cold, EU support in these countries for agriculture is actually very generous. But I think the reactions of markets has been quite muted so far, so they haven't interpreted it as a big event. I think they are back where they were before. Food future prices, wheat commodity prices are back where they were before the crisis. All of that elevation has moved out of prices, and I don't think we're seeing anything at the moment to suggest that this will be a difficult year, providing there aren't any policy-based developments either on Ukraine or in other major exporting markets.